Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Detroit Tigers franchise on MLB The Show 20. We will get into some gameplay later on in this episode, but first we are going to take a look at the scouting special for the upcoming MLB Draft. There are some really good players here, such as Richard McGowan. Now, Richard McGowan is born and bred in Maryland, and he really wanted to be a Terp, so that is exactly what he did. And he was a very good player for the Terps, a great contact hitter with great vision and very good discipline. He lacks a little bit in the fielding area, but he has some terrific speed and base running. So it'll be exciting to see what he's able to do at the big league level. His MLB ETA is 2021, so whoever gets him is definitely getting a surefire starter at the major league level. We move on to take a look at second baseman Corey Corbett. Now, Corbett is a New Jersey boy, born and bred, and he grew up a big Scarlet Knight fan. He chose to go to Rutgers, committed very early to them. He is so young at 19 years old. He still has blemishes on his face, still has pimples, still uses Proactive. A very raw prospect with great speed and great base running, but he does need work in almost every other area of his game. His hitting is not exactly on par yet with some of the better hitters in this class. As you can see right there, that's about the best you're going to get from him. A nice hard hit ground ball up the hole, but his stealing, very good. Quality there. Next, we'll look at third baseman Lonnie Jackson. Now, he is from New Hampshire. He chose to commit down south to the Florida Gators, and he's been playing down there for just 2 seasons. He's a sophomore at 19 years old. 6'4", big guy. He could develop into a really nice power third baseman, but he needs some work on his vision and discipline. But he has awesome arm strength. He's almost like a Nolan Arenado type, but he just needs to make sure that he's making solid contact and he can really turn into that kind of special third baseman that you can build your franchise around. We're taking a look here in Cal State Fullerton at Carlos Valdez, the starting pitcher. He is from California. He had a ton of choices of where to go to school, a ton of scholarships. He chose Fullerton. Mediocre stamina, surprisingly, for a guy with his kind of stuff. He has through-the-roof velocity, and the break on his pitches is just amazing. He doesn't really walk anyone, but he could really use to work on limiting the amount of hits and home runs that he gives up. Valdez, story about him, he lost his father at the age of 6, still misses playing catch with him, and just wants to make Papa up in heaven proud with what he is going to be able to hopefully do at the big league level. So we'll see what he's able to do there. Now we're looking here at Coastal Carolina, and that will bring Herb Reese, the second baseman from North Carolina. He chose to go a state below to Coastal Carolina, loves the beach, loves the amusements down there, and another raw prospect here at the dish. He really needs a great hitting coach to be able to thrive at the big league level. However, his defense is excellent and speed is good. In these clips, playing against Coastal Carolina is Ronald Murphy, the catcher out of Texas A&M. This man is a very raw prospect. He is not going to come up into the major league level till probably at least 2024, but he shows a ton of potential. There is really no huge weakness about Murphy's game, but he doesn't do anything particularly great yet. He just has a really high ceiling. His discipline at the dish and his stealing on the base paths are probably his only true liabilities. He's a very even-keeled player, and Ronald Murphy, a student of the game, really, so good. We'll be able to see what he actually knows at the big league level. Taking a look here at the dish for Florida State, it is first baseman Darryl Spalding. Now, Darryl Spalding, another raw guy, but he's a great hitter against lefties. His intangibles could be a little bit better, and his fielding is mediocre. Base running, actually not too good. He's not a great player on the base paths. Here on the screen is second baseman Richard Irvin out of Mississippi State. Now, he's a Mississippi boy, born and bred, a senior at Mississippi State this year. Still a raw prospect, though, but he has excellent durability, played every single game for Mississippi State. Good base runner for someone with his low speed, and he's pretty decent in the field. He's got a lot of work to do in the batting cages, though, as he doesn't have a lot of power and doesn't really make great contact with the ball either. Here we're looking at the Oregon State Beaver, Tom Kuba. Now, Kuba is projected to possibly come up into the majors this very next season. He does not walk an awful lot of batters with his terrific velocity and very good break. However, his control, like many other prospects in this class, needs work to limit the hits and home runs of the opposing teams. He has given up home runs in big spots. He has given up a bunch of hits in an inning in the past, and you really want to see him limit that stuff. Now we're looking at starting pitcher Boone Eden out of Colorado. Born and bred in Colorado, but he is coming out of the University of Texas, a Longhorn over the past 3 seasons. He's coming into the draft as a junior, 20 years old. Very solid stamina and velocity from Eden. He does not give up a ton of hits either. He does need to work on limiting the walks and the home runs with his control, however. Very good arm strength and accuracy in the field, so not a pitcher who's going to be giving up a lot of base runners due to poor fielding. Very decent break that could develop even more and make him an actual dominant pitcher. We'll see what these guys end up to be. Who's your favorite prospect in this draft class? Let me know in the comments below. Who should we be going after? We're going to take a look at the AA squad, Erie Seawolves, and as we take a look, Riley Green hasn't really quite been playing the way we would have expected him to play as one of the top prospects in our organization, and then because of that, the Erie Seawolves are only 16-23, taking on one of their big rivals in the Altoona Curve, Mohamed Stemley. We'll get a chance to take a look at him. He's been 1-5 so far this year with a 4.81 ERA and a 1.60 whip. Not exactly great for him. Let's see what he's able to do today as he gets a dribbler with 2 away in the first inning to end the threat at the top of the first. That'll bring up Cole Peterson to lead off for us, and he's going to hit one deep out to right field off of the wall in right center field. And that will be a nice leadoff double for our man Cole Peterson. That brings up Frank Schwindel, and Schwindel going to be a window shopper as he gets struck out looking to end our first inning. Stemley still doing well here in the top of the third, getting a nice strikeout there. Moving into the bottom of the third, struck out looking is Riley Green. Had a very nice opportunity to bring in some runs. Now with the bases loaded, Stemley gives up a hit into the gap here of left center field. That is going to bring home 2 runs. It'll be 2-0 Altoona Curve with the lead so far. We lost them the first time we took a look here at Erie and Altoona, and nice grab on the liner by Cole Peterson. So now still 2-0. Top of the 5th, nice strikeout as Stemley gets out of a bases loaded jam. Into the bottom of the 5th, it's Jacoby Jones taking one over the deep left field wall. That thing is out of here. And Jacoby Jones with his 3rd of the year, 410 feet. He has put the Erie Seawolves on the map in this one, and you love to see it. So very nice standing ovation from his dugout there, as Jacoby Jones is somebody we definitely want to see take that step, possibly come up towards the majors next year. Here's Frank Schwindel in the bottom of the 6th. He hits one deep out to center field. That one's going to drop over the center fielder's head. If only our runner at first had gotten a better jump, he probably could have scored there, but it is going to be 2 on with 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th, and that's a dribbler over to third base and thrown on to first for 2 away, but it does allow a tie ball game to occur, and there's a hit down the left field line. That one's a fair ball. That will bring home the leading run for Erie, and a nice double that ends up to be. So Erie with the 3-2 lead on Daniel Pinero's double. Here comes Nick Mears for Altoona. And can he get out of the jam? No. Cody Clemens taking this one down the right field line. That one is going to put 2 on in scoring position for Jacoby Jones, who's going to hit this one over to second base, but he will ground out. So 4-2 is where the lead stops. Tyler Alexander coming in. He has not been good so far this season. Looking to potentially change his fortunes with David Fry up in a runner on first. David Fry takes that thing deep to right field. That lands in and puts 2 in scoring position for Travis Swaggerty, but he gets the strikeout. Alexander looking hot, and he gets it done. Into the top of the 8th, another jam. Tyler Alexander gets a strikeout to get out of. Tyler Alexander, some big-time pitching. That'll bring in Trent Skudnick, who is our closer, technically speaking. 3.46 ERA so far this season, and with 1 away and 1 on, he gives up a moon bomb. That thing is out of here, no doubt about it. 444 feet for Fry, his 8th homer of the year in AA ball, and Altoona has tied it up late in this 8th inning, and that is just unfortunate because Tyler Alexander did so much work to get it to this point. So now Hector Santiago coming into the game here. Going to bring in the setup man to try to do the closer's work, but in the top of the 11th inning, it's going to be a sacrifice fly situation. The throw is off from left field, and that will allow Altoona the leading run. Joe Jacquez coming into the game here as he is 11 of 12 in save opportunities. He has another opportunity here. That one's deep out to left, but not enough carry on it. And that is a fly ball out. Now Jose Azacar coming up to try to do some damage, and he will ground out down the third base line. Taken care of there. Our last hope is Cody Clemens. He hit a big hit earlier, but this one not nearly as big. A ground out, and Altoona has just had our number all season, and they have our number again with a 5-4 win. Player of the game is David Fry with the home run and the double down the right field line. 2 very big hits for him. As we take a look at the box score here, Fry, very good play from him. Waddle, not great on the pitching there. He's been having a really good season for them, but Waddle just wasn't able to pitch as well. Stemley pitched very well for us, which kind of turned around his fortunes, as now we will take a look at the Detroit Tigers in the majors, losing the first game against the Rays 4-3. Second game, they would lose 6-3. And we're going to go ahead into the third game of this, trying to avoid possibly what could turn into a 4-game sweep if we don't stop it here. You can see Jake Rogers is pretty hot. Jonathan Scope is playing well this year. And Miguel Cabrera is doing a lot more than we would have expected for someone on the way out in his career. Zach Godley taking the mound in this one with a 3.23 ERA. He will oppose Blake Snell, who has a 3.71 ERA. Not pitching as well as Tampa expected him to this year, but maybe he can turn it around in this game. Mike Zunino, a liner down the left field line, is going to carry over the wall. A solo shot for Zunino will give Tampa Bay a 1-0 lead. That is his 5th of the season, 380 feet. And now Jake Rogers up, and he's going to hit one through the hole up the center of the diamond, and that will bring a run home to tie this thing up. So far, Detroit going toe-to-toe with Tampa. Here's Yasiel Puig out to deep right field, and that one is going to hit off the wall. Nice play out in center field to get that off the wall, but it will cause the Tigers to lead this thing 2-1. So now Kyle Tucker up against Zach Godley. He's got this one deep into the warning track, and that will hit back there, careen off the wall. And the relay throw home is not in time. Tampa Bay will tie this game at 2. Mike Zunino back up, and he hits another one into the outfield here. That one into right field. The throw is nowhere near in time or on target. 3-2 lead for Tampa. Here's Choi, and Ji-Man Choi going to hit this one out of here. That is another bomb, 429 feet. Choi's 9th home run of the year, and Godley giving up too many long balls so far today. He's given up 2, and that is contributing to this Tampa Bay lead so far. Not exactly what the Detroit faithful came here to see today, but unfortunately it is what's going on. Here's a weakly hit ball into center field. It looks like a perfect throw home, but it's just not in time, and Tampa takes a 5-2 lead in the top of the 8th inning. Still in the top of the 8th with 1 away, a gapper off Ronny Garcia, and that one is going to bring in multiple runs. As a matter of fact, it's going to go for a triple, and that will make it 7-2 Tampa Bay. Still with 1 away, top of the 8th, Jose Martinez going to line this one into center field. It will be caught out in center. The throw home is not a bad one, but not nearly in time. So 8-2, Miggy Cabrera up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's going to hit a grounder, which will get him thrown out, but he brings in an RBI to make this 8-3, which is exactly the score this game ends at. Ji-Man Choi, 3 for 5 with a homer and an RBI, is the player of the game in this one. Choi and Zunino, obviously with the home runs. For our team, RBIs by Puig, Cabrera, and Rogers. Scope was hit by a pitch in that one, so we will end up getting swept in 4 games against the Tampa Bay Rays. They win the sweep game 4-3. Then we take on the Arizona Diamondbacks on the road where the pitcher has to hit. They win 5-2 in the first game of that set. We win 10-5 in the second game of that set. Puig, 3 RBIs in this one. But Marte has hit a home run in every single game, and he continues to do that in the final game of this set, the rubber game, in which Arizona wins 6-3. In that one, Weaver pitched a very nice start. We're hoping to get Michael Fulmer back up to the major league level soon. He will be making a rehab start against the Durham Bulls pretty soon, and we will have a live look in at that start. So far, the Mud Hens are 8 games behind the Bats in AAA, trying to maybe make a postseason push. They're a little under 500, though. We got to get them a little bit better. The Seawolves are 7.5 back of the Curve. The Curve have just had their number throughout the entire first half of the year so far. And the Tigers are now in the basement of the AL Central. Unfortunate to say, but that is kind of where they belong, unfortunately, in season number 1. There's the Yankees leading in the East. Twins are the ones leading our division so far this year, as you might well expect, and the Athletics leading the West. Next episode will feature the MLB Draft, as well as Michael Fulmer's rehab start in AAA. Guys, if you did enjoy the scouting section of this episode, let me know. If there's ways you think you can improve, let me know that as well in the comments section below. Don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and can't wait to see more MLB The Show 20 content, and we can build a winner together.